Hi friends, after hands-on explanation, I would like to demonstrate the whole program to you. As I told you already, because of the congestion of the board and my writing, somewhere you may not grasp. That's why now line by line, see this code and everything, not only code, conventions, every time, 100 times I talk about conventions. Because if you don't follow conventions, what price you have to pay, I know that. That's why I am focusing on that. Many people never bother about convention, but if you strictly adopt the conventions, you will be evolved as a good programmer. That point always you remember and proceed. Okay, now we see the code line by line, and not only code, where line gaps I have given, all that. Now we see. First, we started with a comment. As you know, first we give a number, thereafter write a comment. We should explain what the program is doing. And you must remember one thing. Actually, sometimes multiple lines, one line you may not adjust the comment. Then multiple lines also you can write. Then there are two options. You can write like this. Otherwise, C comments are there. C style comments also you write, because this is slash and star, star and slash. These are the delimiters. Here you can write, however, don't think of it. And if you want, if you cannot fit the comment in one line, and use second line. Okay. But in commercial applications, they write many lines, not only task of the program, what is the version, what is the copyright, what is the data for development, who is the author, all that details will be there, but you need not think of it. And now, thereafter, we are defining blueprint class. Now, you see the blueprint class, and how I am making indentation. This is the indentation. Correctly follow that. Okay. Now, blueprint class we are defining, and we defined its name in Pascal case. Thereafter, three instance variables we have defined. One is item name, second one numbers, third one rate. Thereafter, one line gap here. Appropriate comments also you see how I am writing. Okay. Thereafter, void set data. There you see parameters. Parameters, one point I have to tell you. Suppose in declaration, suppose int, for example, I am telling you, this is class number, this is roll number. If you want, you declare them in one line, because both belong to same type. But as far as parameters are concerned, the same thing. Int class number, int roll number. Like that, for every parameter, you have to declare independently or separately, you have to declare. This is one important point you must note. Actually, one thing is there in programming, every petty thing also you must remember. Otherwise, you commit a mistake. Suppose in this manner, for two variables or two parameters, one type if you declare, then why error has come, you never know. That's why meticulously follow each and every element, and thereafter it is better we make a note of it. Like how many points will be there? 4 5 important points will be there for each program. Those points you make a note of it. Then you never forget. One very important thing I am telling you. Whatever you write, whatever you hear, you may forget. Whatever you write, you never forget, because it is registered in your brain. That point you have to understand. That's why in programming, make it as a point whenever you write a program, what you grasp out of that, you make a note of it, a point wise. That is better. Okay. Now, set data method we have defined. Thereafter, demo CashBill method. Actually, from the beginning, I am telling you with reference to output. That's why I am showing output. So in these 7 lines are there. All 7 lines with reference to each line, you have to write SOP statement. One thing I am telling you, without practicing, in one concept I explained about SOP, just practice for half an hour. And whatever experiments you want to make with SOP, you do that. Then thereafter come here. Then like a text, you can type it. Otherwise, you write statement, some errors will come, again you go back, again correct it, again formation change may be there, again you do that. All this is nonsense. Why you waste your time? So one time practice, you do that. And SOP statements, as I told you, any program or project you take, 30 to 50% of the code are SOP statements. That's why you must have perfect command over that. So with this we define the blueprint class. In the blueprint class, how many elements are there? Three groups of elements are there. One is declaration of instance variables. Second one is set data method. Third one is demo CashBill. That point you have to understand. Line gaps, indentation, block, everything you grasp and you imitate. It is not imitation is different, copying is different. After writing your program and you verify with my code. And as I told you already, in description for every program we are giving a link. If you are interested, you can download the program, then only you can verify. You need not simply depend on video. Okay, you physically you can take a copy of that and verify with your code where discrepancies are there, then you rectify them and proceed. Okay, now I explain the implementation class. As I told you in implementation class, actually you give the name as main. First you work on GDB compiler only. There, if you are comfortable with other compilers, I don't describe. Because GDB, once you start using GDB compiler, you never go back. That is the comment of many students. They are very comfortable with the GDB. That too, you can work on many languages. Suppose this Feel Good series, we are providing for 3 languages: Java, Python and C. So, if you want to work out same program in other language, immediately you can switch over and do that. And many conveniences are there. I am not the promoter of GDB, but because of GDB, you can focus on the program much. Okay. Now we have defined main. As I told you, invariably you have to use the same signature. Thereafter, CB1, one object we have created. Regarding that, I explained what is stack, what is heap, what is going on, all that. Keep in mind that helps you to enrich your professionalism. Thereafter, via CB1, you call the set data method and pass the arguments. While passing the arguments, one principle you have to follow. That is, in set data parameters, how many parameters are there? 1, 2, 3 parameters are there. What are the types? String, int, float. What is the order? String, int, float order. So, whenever you are passing arguments, you should strictly follow 3 principles. One is number of parameters and number of arguments should be same. Number of parameters are 3, here number of arguments are 3. Second one, the types should be matched. Which type? String, int and float. Here argument types are string, int and float. And order also very important. Suppose string, int, float. If you make int, string, float, then it leads to error. So always remember, arguments and parameters must match in 3 aspects. One is in number, second one is type, third one is in order. That point you have to understand. Thereafter, cb1 dot demo CashBill we are calling. By that, output is printed. If you want to crystallize your knowledge, one more object you create or one more object you create, n number of objects of same type you can create and see the output. By that, one experiment if you make and all that, your self-confidence is very much improved. Otherwise, it remains like a concept. Simply having concept, there is no use. Simply having blueprint, there is no use. Blueprint, according to blueprint, you have to implement things. Then only real things are created. That point you have to remember and then proceed and write this program successfully.